This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Girls flick their bean and boys release stuff that looks like sunscreen. And you know what? It's week 16. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think aliens are that scary, man.
It's going to get the job done.
Aussie?
We usually spit roast T. Higgins every year in our redraft league.
Quintupled? I don't know if I can say that word.
Just take Brandon Cooks and be happy, mate.
NFL?
I run the laptop on Russian links watching 5 games and the other 3 games I'm watching on the iPad. So it's non-stop.
Yeah, normally Josh is send me Russian other things.
Fantasy.
Isn't the whole point of Tinder to get as much as you can? Oh, now my missus is staring right down my soul.
And now all of a sudden it's just Alien City.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Yeah, they've unzipped the Penix and it's time to put the Penix in the pit. Let's do it.
For the Aussie Gridiron Network, this is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show on Sunday of week 16. We're so close to the mountaintop. They call me Matty C, and with me tonight for the Sunday show that you're going to catch in the lead up to your big semi-final matchups is Australia's finest fantasy analyst. It's Taylor Goodall. How you doing, mate?
We're fucking back, Matty. Can't wait to get into this, mate. It's been a great first show, but we're straight into the Sunday show now. And look, for anyone listening out there that's in semi-finals and wondering what to do, believe me, I'm in the same boat. I'm in fucking 9 this week, so it's not like I'm trying to just talk off my fucking in my ivory tower without actually being in the depths myself. So, mate, we're all in this together, so I can't wait to get into starts of the week this week. And me coming off a win finally will actually feel good.
9 semi-finals.
9 semi-finals into it.
Jesus Christ. Well, that's bloody serious, mate. I think out of 14, I'm alive in 5, and to me, that's far more than I was expecting at the start of the year. So it's I'm taking my blessings at 5. 9. Oh my God. No, this is why you're the supreme analyst, mate.
And that was 9 opportunities to get Brenton Strange into my team. So that's the best part about being in so many.
Wow. Yeah, well, you killed the Brenton Strange stuff for the for the starts of the week a bit later on.
Had to get him into the show because he's not available.
Well, we'll
he's the new Greg Calcaterra.
Except instead of Calca terrorizing people, he's going to be delivering strange love. Is that what's happening here?
Yeah, well, that's as good as anything I could have come up with.
It's all I have. It's all I have. No, it's not quite all I have, mate. I've got a guest who joined us on the Friday show, and if you missed that, then you have to go back because you need to find out what happened in the 5 questions segment because this is the last time this season we're going to get to run 5 questions with our guest next week, being a bit of a regular on the show and having already done 5 questions. Tay, I think you will do a better job of justice bringing in our guest tonight. Can you give us a big intro?
No, it's Josh Vigurs. No.
We're back.
No, mate,
We're
like
back.
I said, he's been a good mate of mine for a long, long time. So it's really, really good to have him on the pod. Obviously, he couldn't come on earlier in the year, but it's just sort of made the heart grow fonder, you know, like with the anticipation for him coming on has just gone greater and greater, and he's basically hit everything we needed him to in the first pod. So let's see if he can let us down in this one.
I edged you all year, and now I'm ready to climax the fuck out of you, Tay. So let's go.
Sunscreen has come out of me.
Oh my God. Well, oh God, I'm actually kind of glad, even though we had to wait a while, because, mate, your comfort immediately on the Friday show was obvious, and I'm so grateful because, talking in front of a microphone isn't everyone's bag, and, mate, it was just so great that you got the comfort early. You gave us both a whole bunch of shit, which I love, and that continues here on the Sunday show because, mate, today the competition comes out, mate.
Let's do it. 100%. I'm ready to go.
Giving us shit on this podcast is a must. It's a requirement.
Yeah, if he wasn't going to fulfill the brief, then he'd be out on his ear, mate, 100%. But, I like how quickly that came. So, look, the Sunday show comes with a whole bunch of responsibility, though, because we're here to help the people, mate. This is... we're 15 minutes before people have to, get their shit together for their matchups, and nothing bigger than semi-final until you get to the final week. So, like, your life depends on it. This is win or go home. Loser leaves the island. And I've got a couple of questions in the mailbag to try and help sort some people out. You fellas ready to help?
Yep. Let's do it. Delve into that Tyreek Hill sack.
Where's the mailman? Need some advice?
Would you rather have a small slice of a lovely cake?
Who has the mail?
Or would you rather a huge piece of a dog shit cake?
Thanks to your questions at Pastry Press NFL. the Aussie NFL Fantasy.
I guess this is kind of a shit cake, but it can be a decent cake too.
Oh gosh, there's a bit of a theme to some of these questions actually this week. Now that I've looked at them, I got the three that I thought were the best, and I'm like, oh, actually, now I look at it, there's something going on here. I think Tay, you're going to pick up on this pretty quick.
Yeah, it's going to be Brenton Strange and whatever tight end, and my answer is going to be Strange every time.
I kind of wish it was, but you're going to pick up on this really quick. This one's from Pinto Penix, and
we've unzipped.
Straight. Oh my gosh, you get to catch on to what happens here. Question here is, look, iffy on Saquon, and the options here for Pinto Penix if Saquon's not a go, they've got Madison, but they've done the right thing and handcuffed Gainwell. Can I get to you're a Saquon owner in a lot of places.
Yep.
What's your comfort level with Saquon this week? He's got Gainwell. Is he going to be a suitable start in a Saquon absence, or do you go to a guy like Madison where he's now going to be undisputedly the guy with the role?
Oh, I'm playing Gainwell. If the bigger issue is going to be if Saquon is active and he's not fully healthy, and then you're going to start Saquon, and then all of a sudden you see Gainwell eating into the role. If you get to near the game and they rule Saquon out, I'm playing Gainwell with full confidence. You have to. That offensive line is amazing. There's obviously reasons I brought up Saquon in the preseason as to why I thought he was going to be an amazing pickup where he was going. Do I think Gainwell is anything like Saquon? No, he's not Saquon. He's not going to go out there and score 40 points like he does. But the fact is he's set up for success in this team. Like I said, the amazing offensive line, they're still going to run the ball. Look, they'll probably have to get solids like a Will Shipley or something involved behind him, but I still think that Gainwell would get the Lions' share, or the Eagles' share, if you want to go that way. So I would play him with way more confidence than I'd play Alexander Madison, because like that could be anything. Is it Lauby? Is it fucking, does McCormick come back? Do they just find someone else off the street that can basically run for 1.5 a carry like everyone else does at the Raiders? Like who the fuck knows what happens with Madison? So yeah, I'm playing Gainwell for sure. So I'm just playing whoever's active if Saquon's active, I'm playing him. If he's not, I'm playing Gainwell.
I can't even tempt him with the Jags defense. Joshy, what are you doing in this instance? You got a Saquon share anywhere, mate?
I don't. I did last year and absolutely loved him. I wish I could have got him this year, but I'm the same as Terry. I'd be going with Gainwell if Saquon is out. I'd rather probably take a crack at it over any running back for Vegas right now. That's me.
I get the question too, because the Jags are an atrocious running defense. They really are. So I understand the question, but this is why you handcuff to your top 5 running back, and I don't think you handcuff to every starting running back in the league. But when you've got
you just got to get lucky. Really, take the one when you need him. Definitely, I'd be running with Gainwell over Madison for sure.
No, mate. I'm going to stick with you on this one because I'm going to go straight to the next question with at Darnold Skies, who. So the question is, who helps me more in Week 16? Ray and McLeod at the Giants with Penix, or Keon Coleman versus the Patriots?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because win or go home.
Yeah. I think I'm running with the rookie. I'm going with Keon.
Yeah.
I'm going with Keon. Yeah. Just because you know what you're going to get out of Josh Allen. Penix is obviously untried. I do expect him to play a lot better than Kirk has lately, but quarterback play, I'm going with Coleman just because of Josh Allen, really. Other than that, there's not much else that I can really add to that. But, based off Allen versus Penix, I'm rocking with Allen and Coleman.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can see the logic in it, but Tay, do you agree? What are you doing in this situation?
I couldn't agree more. One's got Josh Allen and one's got a rookie coming in for his first start ever. That's a no-brainer to me. I get the idea of it, but Keon Coleman, when he's been healthy, has actually been pretty good. There's been some sort of unrealized potential with him as you get out of rookies, but I just think the fact that he's got Josh Allen, there's big playability at any moment. They don't have a solidified one. I know Shakir probably would be the one, but in general, there's always a chance that it could go to a guy like Coleman at any moment, and you just know that Josh Allen's probably scoring 3 to 4 touchdowns in his game at the very least. So, there's a chance there, whereas Penix could have none. There's a chance that Penix comes out and doesn't even have a touchdown. So you're straight away behind the 8 ball with a guy like McLeod, who is probably the third on his team at best anyway. I mean, he's put Bijan in there as a pass catcher. He's probably 4. Like, it's to me, it's just Coleman for sure because you're just taking the shot on the guys in a far better offense.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I definitely, again, here, I get the question because you're against the Giants. So in terms of the first start, it's not the worst matchup to have, right? But, God, Josh Allen against the Patriots in a game where he is now within a sniff of the first seed, right?
And the MVP.
And just locking that in.
It's in his hands right now.
Yeah, so, I love that. Hey, the third one here at Commander Dan, he says he's lost Mahomes in double question marks. Not sure what's happening with Mahomes. He'd been keeping Cousins on the bench, but now that Penix has taken that over, is that a worthwhile pickup? The other guys available are Rodgers, Geno, Stafford. What do you do? Take it away, Josh.
You know where we're going, baby. We're rocking the A-Rod. We are rocking the A-Rod.
Stop the lift. The first name.
Put that geriatric fuck in your team and just let him go to work.
Let's go. We're in harmony. We're holding hands. Kumbaya. Nothing else to say.
Hit the drop. That's 3 questions in a row that have something to do with Penix, because the first one was Pinto Penix, and then there was one about Ray McLeod, and now is Penix okay to fill in for Cousins? Wow.
You should never put your Penix in the cousin, ever. Ever.
It's a great
There's some places where that is custom. Have you ever been to Alabama? No, clearly.
It's a great tip. Okay. And you also don't put your tip in either.
There you go. Don't stick it in the pit. I think on this list of guys too, because I talked a little toward Geno last week too. Last show on Friday too. I don't hate putting Geno in there. I'd be really reticent to put Penix in there until I've seen it. Also, it's a fucking semi-final. Are you mad? Your hair must be on fire at the idea of sticking a rookie in their first start in there. But I understand the question because, again, Giants. So I definitely get it. I've got one more down here from at Matty fucking C.
Oh,
where is this from? Just a distant cousin. Semi-final, half PPR, trying to solve my flex. Hopkins or Quentin Johnson? Go.
Jesus, fuck. Okay, I'll take Quentin Johnson if it's Wentz. Like, if it's Wentz, I'm taking no one from the fucking Chiefs. So, that would straight away rule it out. I don't know.
Quentin Johnson's playing Thursday night football, so you're not going to know, maybe.
Yeah, that's the problem. That is a huge problem.
That's why Matty C's asking Australia's finest analyst on the air, so he can't say fuck off Matty C and solve your own problems.
I saw that Mahomes was listed as a full participant in, I guess it was their walkthrough.
It was so low intensity, it's ridiculous, Tate. They were pretty much reading magazines.
They've got 3. Everyone assumes he's probably out, but they've got 3 pretty tough games. They actually need to hold on for this 1 seed. So, I don't know. I personally think he's going to tough it out. Every single time that there's always this situation with Mahomes where you think there's a chance he won't play, he just does. He finds a way, and they sort of run an offense that they don't need to be high-powered anyway. Just got to get enough done. Hope that it works well enough. So
yeah, but against Houston, who've shown they can score points.
It's a massive risk. I'm still going to say Hopkins. I think Mahomes will play. I just don't trust Quentin Johnson in almost any fucking moment. I know he had that one that good play sort of early in the game last week, but it really, really worries me. I also think that at your absolute worst, I don't know how big this league is for this person, but if you all of a sudden found out later that it was Wentz, I think there's probably a pivot option on your waivers that's probably not much worse than Quentin Johnson. So I feel like I would probably just take my shot on Hopkins, and if it turned out to be Wentz, I'd either just fucking wear the Ronald McDonald ass, or I'd fucking just go after a free agent.
The other option's a Dunze, so it's not great.
Yeah, I'd roll with Dunze.
It's a mess. So in a 16-team league, your flex is like the 40th to 50th at their position. It's just a disaster. So there you go. Josh, you don't have to wait on this one. This is purely for my gratification, but feel free to if you want
to. Yeah, I took Hopkins out of my flex and put in Ferguson this week instead. So
I would do that in a heartbeat, probably.
Yeah, so that's really the only option that I had to make regarding Hopkins. That's me assuming that Mahomes wasn't going to play, but I hadn't heard that update. And obviously what Tay said, he does seem to just It's like it's all part of a documentary that's going to come out in 10 years about him. Like he's just taking the piss and it's all for theatre. But yeah.
But they've been very low intensity trainings for this week, knowing that they've got this game and they've got another game. They end up playing 3 and 11 days. Yeah. And Mahomes himself, they can call him a full participant as long as he's out there the whole time and he doesn't have to do a heap. And that's what they've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really just, it's on that really, isn't it? Like, are they going to risk him? I mean, if they don't risk him and they play Wentz, I'm not playing, like Taste, I'm not playing anyone from the Chiefs at all. But yeah.
What about Hollywood Brown? He was also training. I'm joking. We all forgot he existed.
I haven't heard that.
It's a Taylor Swift song. So bringing it full circle. Okay, so look, we're done with the mailbag. That's me just taking the piss and getting you guys to analyse my team for me. But thank you very much. I think it's the famous time of the week. It's time to get in to the reason why we're all here for Start of the Week.
In the beginning, there was nothing, a featureless void. From the formless primordial state, a legend was born when forces combined to create a solid object of significant value. As planets were formed and Earth itself was shaped, the object lay awaiting its destiny. Seas rise and fall, mountains emerge, and upon the highest mountain, an intrepid adventurer happens upon the object. A worthy prize for ascending this to the tallest of peaks. This object has been documented to be held by many of the great dynasties of mankind, from the Persians to the Hans, the Mongols and the Ottomans, lives lost defending it from those who seek to possess it. Now it is in the trust of 3 wise men who also reach such pinnacles, to be held by he who imparts the most astute knowledge upon fellow mankind. The winner of the annual Aussie NFL Fantasy Show Starts of the Week.
And mate, Tay, I'm going to run through a quick recap of how the world went last week because Ian did something extraordinary last week.
It was great work. He done amazing work. And it was work that we all said was going to happen. He was going to dominate for you. And then as soon as he's on the third podcast as the world, he's going to lay an egg. But my God, did he fucking lay a gigantic T-Rex fucking egg.
He foreskinned the shit out of this.
It was the worst. This is easily the worst fucking performance anyone's ever had from 5 players, by the way.
It would have been probably the worst performance from 4 players. He's magic to do it with 5. Ian got to pick first because last week I gave him the opportunity to pick the draft order. So he goes ahead and takes a team that has Jameis Winston, Jalen Warren, Darnell Mooney, Cole Kmet, Tank Dell. His high scorer there was Tank Dell with 6 points. He gets a duck out of Mooney. Oh, my God. And he gets an average of 2.5 out of Warren, Winston, and Kmet to go and throw up a 13.64. Oh, my God.
That's rough.
It's good for Josh. Like, it can't get much worse. Or can
it? You've put the mocker on me now.
What a way to come in, mate. The comic before you's bombed. Every joke you say is going to be hilarious. My team didn't embarrass. So I ended up with 58 points because the Herbert and QJ stack goes up and throws up a bunch of points in the early part of that game. But then Herbert doesn't do anything else for the rest of the game. Understanding he's been dealing with a leg injury as well. But between them, they go up and throw up 30 of my 60 points. Bigsby, Charbonnet, and the Muth all go and throw up about another 30. I ended up with 58 points from them, and I'm actually pretty happy with that. It gave me a very slender lead over Taylor before Monday Night Football came in. But Tay, it was the golf show, mate. Do you want to talk us through, Tay?
Yeah, there was a lot of shit guys in there, but fucking Jared Goff did a lot of the heavy lifting. I had Jared Goff in my first round matchup in my redraft league that I'm in with Josh, and I was against Josh Allen, and I had Jared Goff. And it was one of those ones where I was watching the game.
Brilliant.
Like, fuck, Josh Allen's killing it. He's getting all the touchdowns. But all it took was like one of the touchdowns not to go to him, that 41-yarder to James Cook. And they're in front by like 14 points. And I'm like, you know what? Like, the Lions coming back in this game, this could actually be a very good thing. Because, like, if Jared Goff's playing catch-up mode, he's probably all of a sudden going to have more opportunities to throw touchdowns than he probably has in other games. And you saw what happened. It was just like full catch-up mode. In that league, you get huge bonuses if you get a big touchdown. And he had that massive one to Amon-Ra that just like...
Yeah.
I think he scored about 18 points or something in that league from that. But just in our late starts league, he just did so much, 400 plus. He nearly had 500 yards, like 5 touchdowns. It was just absurd. And then the last one went to Jamo, who I'd stack with, which made a massive difference. But the other 3 were assholes, but it didn't matter because that line stack did everything.
Yeah, Braylon Allen goes up, throws up a half a point. Zach Ertz, 4.5. Adunze, he battles his way and gets 6 in the end. But yeah, it was the Goff and Jameson stack does the heavy lifting. They go and put up almost 53 points between them. My team scored 58, so it gives you some context about how much was done there. And it turns out Ian's score and my score combined was about Taylor's score because Ian scored so little. So there you go.
Like the Kobe Bryant and Kwame Brown, 83 points in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Combined, yeah.
What a reference. Oh, my God.
But you still salute Ian for the great work he did for your team for 2 weeks.
I mean, he foreskinned this. He's like, I've rolled a 6. What's the chance of rolling 3 6s? And he doesn't. But I wasn't expecting to be like that. He was just talking about doom. I'm like, oh, mate, you're a fine fantasy analyst. What are you talking about? And then, oh, my God, just the moon's aligned. Just the moon's fucking aligned. That's amazing.
The moonies. They aligned.
Oh, my God. And then what it does to the scoreboard for the starts of the week. Season long, Tay, you and I are pretty much at the same. We've got 777 and 779 aggregate points between us. And competition points, I'm at 35, Tay, you're at 28. And you've jumped in front of the world. The world had a 1-point lead on you going into last week, and you've reversed the curse. And by claiming the 3 points, you've leapfrogged the world. So the world is now in last and has the lowest aggregate at 666, a solid 100 points behind, but only 1 point behind second place. So, Joshy, still plenty to play for because how great would it be if we could make Australia's finest fantasy analyst come last in this, huh?
Well, I've already knocked him out of 2 leagues, so I may as well ruin his life again.
Let's do it, brother. Let's do it. So we are throwing the wrinkle in because this week, Tay, we're going to do something. It's a bit of a build on what we've done in the last 2 weeks, but do you want to describe how this week's going to run?
Yeah, last couple of weeks, I sort of threw it at the guys last second a couple of weeks ago when you had the fucking rhino spicy flu out in the boat. But we basically ran a flex. We ran a 5th player, and then we've done that the last 2 weeks. So this week we were like, you know what, let's sort of spice it up again. We're going to run the 5th player as a super flex. So you can put another quarterback in there, or you can run another wide receiver, running back, whatever you want to do. So it's really completely up to you. You can play anyone else in that 5th position. So, yeah, it's going to definitely add another wrinkle. It's definitely going to make people look at even more mediocre quarterbacks for sure.
Well, and I think what it was going to do up until the Friday show was going to open a spot to run Brenton Strange as your Superflex, but now Taylor has taken away Brenton Strange by putting with Taylor's on.
Look,
look what you've done.
I know. I was trying to even out the playing field a little bit because whoever had Strange in their Superflex was going to fucking dominate. It was going to be
too much of an advantage.
Yeah.
If anyone getting a pass from Mac Jones, too much of an advantage.
We'd have like an all-time low of listenership on that episode because like everyone just feel like it's over.
Yeah, fair enough. Tay, you won the segment last week. You go and throw up the 64.66, by the way. Mate, you get the luxury of choosing the draft order. Have you put any thought into this? I know you rarely do.
I've put a small amount of thought in, and it's what I'm going to do, and it is going to be I'm passing it over to Josh. I'm letting Josh pick.
Hey, I feel like I might have socially pressured you into this because I gave Ian the first pick last week when I had the right to do it.
I saw that, and then I actually kind of had that thought process already anyway, and then I was like, I would sort of throw it a bit at him with the Superflex. First time on the pod, like, fuck it, let's go. I'd rather. I put so much thought into every single time I have to pick it. I went, you know what? I'm going to do the complete opposite. I'm going to put zero thought into it and pass it to Josh.
Classy move. I think look after our guests, mate. Especially we've been waiting for ages to get Josh on, and I like that we've paved the way for him to really give you some pain, mate.
I can't wait for this to completely backfire.
So I pick who goes next after me.
Yeah, you don't have to go first.
Don't even have to go first if you don't.
I'm taking that. I'm going.
Fuck you guys.
Gave me the opportunity. But yeah, so if you're going first, you decide who goes second out of me and Matty, and then obviously you last.
Yeah, who's second, who's third?
Let's go Matty second.
I thought he was going to put me second. Yay! And Tay.
Arsehole end. And the only thing that changes from the snake, it snakes the whole way 1, 2, 3, 4. but then the last round, so it's essentially not giving the first person the biggest advantage. It goes back to the third person for the first pick and the fifth. Yeah. So essentially, they just reverse snakes in the last round.
Mm-hmm. And with that said, clock is on.
All right, so with my first pick, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers, starting 13% lead.
I knew that was covered.
Going back to the Friday pod. For all the reasons we've already stated, but Aaron Rodgers now, chains are off, shackles are off. It's just go time for the old boy. And I can't believe, I look at all the starts of the week and under the 50%. I can't believe he's only getting started in 13%. I do understand he's old, but I've been playing him a fair bit this year and not realising how lowly he's been used. So, I'm rocking with A-Rod. After what he did for me last week, I feel like I have to.
Oh, my God. I just can't believe the bravery of playing him last week and then getting that payoff as well. He was quarterback 2 on the week.
Yeah.
Three on the week, sorry.
Kissed on the dick big time, Matty.
Yeah, that's the verbiage we use here, mate. I like that you've gone straight to the Aussie NFL fantasy philosophy. Love it.
Straight to a slogan that means a lot to us.
Oh, wow. I love the pick. I mean, you guys have talked him up. He was somebody who initially wasn't on my list because I had Baker in there, and then Baker, part of the Taylor Talk segment, wisely. But I, too, am going to roll straight into a quarterback. And I'm just going to go ahead and take Goff at Chicago. Because while I don't think he's going to throw up a 41 again, I do think Chicago are going to suck. They suck against the run. They suck against the pass. They suck against kickers. They suck against punters. They suck against the crowd. They suck against refs. So I figure anyone against the Bears is a good play. And while I need at least one quarterback, he feels like a good fit. Currently started in 45% of leagues.
Yep, fair enough. For whatever reason, I wrote down 7 and I didn't put him only because, the matchup isn't, it's one of the only of the 2 games he plays outdoors and it's technically not a good matchup against quarterbacks. I was like, you know what? I took him last week. I'll just look elsewhere. It wasn't that I don't think Goff can play well. I think I have Goff in 3 different of my semi-finals this week. I definitely want him to go well. I just thought I'd look elsewhere, but absolutely no issue with the pick.
Oh. He could play Goff. He could play the Bears on the moon. He could play them in the Target car park. I don't give a fuck. He's just going to tear him up. I don't care.
No, that's fair enough. And because they're
in the back of my station wagon, he'll still tear him up.
And because their defense sucks, they've lost so many pieces, he has to be good.
Yeah.
He can't just.
Because the Bears are going to score. They're actually going to score against the team.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So I got the back-to-back picks here.
Yes.
If I was sick, I was considering going a different position, just because I got sort of so many guys written down. What I might do I want to risk it? You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to risk it. I'm not even taking a quarterback in the turn here. I'm letting you guys fucking pick 4 of them before I pick any. Stuff it. Who cares? I'm living fucking dangerously.
You know what we're going to do. You have no idea.
I've got another position that I think is off this week. So I'm going to go running back. I'm going to take Travis Etienne against the Raiders, 36%, 20th against running back. He just seems to be slowly getting more and more work. He's obviously people haven't been sure who to start at him and Bigsby. I just think at the end of the year, it seems to be going back to him more and just sort of going to ride in the rest of this year. So I just think in a game like this, there actually might be more red zone opportunities too, because the Raiders obviously are dog shit. So even a Mac Jones team, I think, is going to be able to push the ball well enough.
This team's actually worse than the Jets, and he made the Jets not look terrific because the Jets aren't terrific, but the Raiders aren't either, so shouldn't say anything.
I'll be honest, I didn't fucking love wide receiver either. It was just one of these positions that I was going through the rankings, and there wasn't a lot of guys that sort of jumped out to me this week. So I'm going to take someone who has been good in this segment and just sort of had one off week, but I just still like his connection with his quarterback. But I'm going to take Adam Thielen against the Cardinals, 12th against wide receiver. I just think he gets back to business with Bryce. I think they had one really shit week together, and just in general against that Dallas team just didn't seem to be able to do anything. But I think they're going to be better against the Cardinals this week. So I'm going to risk it massively and not take a quarterback.
I know that's a problem though, because you don't know what we're going to pick.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I mean, Joshy, we got the next 4 picks, mate. We got plenty of options.
Let's do it.
Plenty of options. No running backs taken yet. and no tight ends. So what do you got?
I just took a running back.
Yeah, he just took running back.
Oh, sorry. I have written some things on lines where I usually wouldn't. I usually go by position this year. This one, because of the Superflex, I've actually just gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We're at week 16, mate.
By position. So there you go. Mate, I've been awake a lot of hours, so I missed my afternoon nappy nap. That's what happened. Okay, so on the way back, mate, I also think there's not a lot of joy at running back this week. And I actually think, Joshy, you're going to be equal parts happy and sad with me, because I'm going to go ahead and take your boy Ty Tracy against the Falcons.
Is he under 50 now? Because I had him written down as 50 and then it had his look, because I was like, is he going to drop under? Has he dropped under?
This
is the thing, right? So he was at 50 when I wrote him down, and I need to either be allowed or disallowed.
He's bang on 50.
Hasn't moved?
It hasn't moved, and like there's been other times I think I brought up Jennings 2 weeks ago, and he was right on 50, and because he was at the time of recording, I just said no. Like I kind of understand why he's even in here. I wrote him down because like Singletary all of a sudden just more involved, and he's not getting as much passing work. He doesn't look like bona fide, but I don't know. I guess the whole point is he's at 50 and it's meant to be under 50, so it almost goes against what the segment is.
Beautiful. And this is the thing, right? And I think there's a strategy to this segment where someone's just got to name a guy and get shouted down to make sure nobody gets that guy. But as long as you don't get him and nobody else gets him, piece of cake, right?
He definitely was written there, and I was going to try my luck, but
Joshy!
It's not a shout down, it's a whisper down. It's
I may have gone ahead and fabricated and said he's 49% and just hope you both believe me.
I love this bloke. Hey, where did you find him?
49% started, guys. Don't check. No,
where did you find this guy? I love him.
I'm fabricated. It's brilliant.
Josh, you might just need to join the cast full time. Okay, so because of that, and he to me was the bullet at running back that was left, so I'm going to pivot from that and now move back into wide receiver. And in the same game, I was looking at guys, and oh man, I had a guy circled in it, and I'm iffy about him because he went through a goose up last week, and I wonder if I should be as happy on this, but I'm just gonna pull the trigger and go Darnell Mooney against that same Giants team in that same game. And you know, we're unzipped, unsheathed, go the Penix.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than rocking back in with Kirk again after he just gave him a goose. Like it's like at least God. Even though it's a rookie, it's like, well, things can't be any worse than a goose last week, so might as well give him a shot. I've got him in a league I'm in. It's obviously a do-or-die semi, and I just can't do it. I'm trying to find a pivot.
Yeah, but look, at 38% owned, I just kind of feel like this is one of those ones where, gee, as a rookie coming in your first start, and you know, at the time of year it is, I think you could do worse in terms of where you put that guy out. You don't want to roll him out against a top 5 defense if you can help it. You don't want to roll him out on the road if you can help it. Both those things not in consideration here.
Nice.
Joshy, you've got a double pick to close out the second round and kick off the third round. Yep. Currently, you're sitting on a big bag of Aaron Rodgers. What are you going to add to it?
Well, I was just looking at my RBs and went to make sure that they were still under 50%, and they are no longer under 50%.
Yeah, it does change sometimes.
So I was going to take Bucky Irving, who was at 47% last night when I wrote.
Yeah, I saw that.
But I'm going to go and just be a prick and hope for the best against Tay. I'm taking Bigsby.
Hey!
So whoever's going to get the best of the work, I'm just going to get my RB now because I've got none others ready to go. I'm just going to go with Bigsby. I did write down that I thought he was getting the better of the groundwork compared to Etienne. But Tay did say it, kind of does look like they might just kind of lean on Travis now till the end of the year, so I'm not too sure. But
Bigsby's still going to get work.
Agreed.
He gets everything. It was just more like I know what Travis Etienne is when he is getting a good role, and I don't think the guy's all of a sudden just horrendously shit after being like literally picked in the first round of drafts this year. Like I think That's why it's just more like a bias in that way. It's like, all right, I'm starting to see more out of him than I saw 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's got a good matchup. I'll roll with the guy that was the first round pick in fantasy. Like I said, I would not be surprised if Bigsby turned it around and got the goal line touchdown or something. But yeah,
that's kind of what I'm banking on. I'm kind of just hoping for a bit of pay dirt. But yeah, I'm going to run with Bigsby for my RB.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, and this is one of these things where finally, over the course of the season in standard PPR scoring, they're actually like running back 32 and 33. Yeah. So there's nothing to choose. It's so funny.
Back to back, baby.
All right, well, you get to kick off the third round too,
brother. I'm having a look.
Bing bong, you've got Aaron Rodgers and now a much younger addition with Tank Bigsby in his second year in the NFL compared to the guy who's in his 377th.
Bigsby's on some ayahuasca with him.
I am...
It's all like
I'm going to, hold on. Let me just double check the starts now because.
And no fabrication, mate. You've already.
Yeah, you got a yellow card, by the way.
Oh, no, I'm getting in now. I'm taking a tight end and I'm going the tuck shot with you, Matty. I'm taking Tucker Craft.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah, still.
Can't get a lunch order.
He's actually gone down. Oh, no, he stayed at 40%, same as last night. Yeah, rocking with Craft.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I hope he has a boom game. My God.
I'm glad I didn't force myself into a good quarterback because no one's taken another one yet.
Yeah. And this is kind of why it's like, yeah, well, you don't know what we're going to do. But Matty C is going to go and take the second quarterback now.
Yeah, fair enough.
And mate, I was looking down matchups, and you know what I like doing? I like taking anybody who's against Tennessee. So I'm going to go and take Richo against Tennessee. Yeah. Anthony Richardson. He's 21% started. No, it just does enough. They got off to a good start last week against Denver before Denver kind of like woke up and just kicked the teeth out of them.
Before Jonathan Taylor did the dumbest thing of all time.
Oh, my God, Jonathan Taylor. And I worry about that because now I'm against Jonathan Taylor in the league that I care about the most this week. And Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, they're the guys I get to face this week who both coming off shite games. That's the timing is just horrendous. But you know what, Richo, I don't love him, but you know what I do love? That Tennessee's defense is garbage against fantasy everything. And so that's the only reason I'm picking on it is they kind of seem to be this like gift that keeps on giving. Everybody on the Bengals scored 140 points last week, and I do not expect any less for at least 2 people on this team. And I assume one of them is going to be Richo because he handles the ball 80 times a game. So that's my move.
Yeah, nice.
That's fair enough. He's definitely on my list.
Yeah, he was on mine too.
All right, Tay's up to finish the third round and kick off the fourth round.
I'll take my first quarterback here, and I will take the other side of the Aaron Rodgers game. I'll take Matt Stafford. I know he was horrendous last week, but he seems to do this thing where every time you're keen on him, he fucking lays an egg. And then every time you're like, oh, shit, he had a bit of an off one last week, he goes out and dominates the week after. I just think with Aaron Rodgers, like we both believe, me and Josh, that he's going to have a really good game on the other side. I just think that's going to offer up an opportunity for Stafford to have a big game on the other side. I think it could be another high-scoring game. He's obviously Puka and Cup. Cup didn't help him last week, but I think that game was projected to be shit house with the weather and just fucking the Niners just being an absolute bag of dicks on the other side. So, yeah, I'm going to take Stafford as my quarterback here. I'm just working out whether I bother taking my other one here. Like, I've got to only wait 2 picks because then I get the first pick in the 5th. Just wondering if I have conviction enough at tight end. There's I've got 3 guys written down. Kind of don't mind them all, but the problem is I don't really feel like there's a quarterback that's like way better than the rest at the moment. Sort of got one that's played good for the season, but I was a little bit worried about it last week. Then I've got another guy that's been pretty shit all season, but I love his matchup. It's just sort of an interesting one across the board here. Which one of those 2 do I like? I am going to go on, you know what, for the good of the podcast, because I'm not going to take one of them because he plays on Friday our time, so I'm going to leave that. I'm actually going to take Caleb against the Lions. I just think this Lions team is fucking decimated. Like, I know Caleb's limitations. I know he's shithouse in the first half and he just garbages his way, but I just don't know how this Lions team gets stops against anyone. Like, have you seen a team like more decimated ever on one side of the ball? It's insane. Like, I just don't even know how they stop anyone.
Yeah, Dan Campbell might be running out there soon.
He might have to with his fucking yellow teeth.
San Fran are the only other team who I think stink.
Come on, man.
Who you wouldn't expect. Like, you don't expect San Fran to stink on defense. They currently do. The Lions were meant to have a pretty good defense. They don't. And it's only because they're hurt a lot. And I think those are the two teams. Yeah.
I just felt like a divisional game where the Bears are done. This kind of screams to me where they might be able to open it up finally. I don't know. I just got a feeling. It's one of those things where I'm you know what? I know Caleb said I took Caleb once and he was an absolutely diabolical failure in this segment. But I'm you know what? This is the one. Lions aren't going to be able to pressure them. They've lost all their pass rushes. So the shit offensive line for the Bears probably won't be as bad in this game. So I'm you know what? Might be the opportunity where Caleb finally sort of returns his number one pick.
I don't know that Caleb's the problem with that team, so I like the pick, but he just hasn't been doing it with his legs the way I hoped. So, look, he may not need to against a defense like this. So fingers crossed.
That's all this is. It's not really a pro Caleb. It's just, I just think the Lions can be beat by fucking anyone. The Illawarra Mustangs would fucking tear this defense apart.
Christ. All right, so on the way back now, that's the fourth round completed. Tay, that means you're starting the fifth round?
Was that third round finish?
No, it's coming back. Yeah, I started the fourth.
Oh, no, it's the fourth round. You've started the fourth round. So Matty C up. And you've both got running backs. So I've got absolutely no... actually, you haven't taken Superflex yet, have you? Joshy's still sitting on Superflex, but this week with running back, I don't know that that's the play. So, I might just wait on my running back, and I'm just going to lean in, and just because it's the Patriots, just a little float out the Dalton Kincaid. Started 39% of leagues and then didn't have a terrific week this week. But I believe in everyone against New England. So I'm just going to put him out there and wait to be told no.
No, it's fine. I got no issue. He's been such a disappointment. It's been unbelievable. I get it. It's been injury and it's just sort of been hot and cold. But I took him in our startup dynasty thinking I got this amazing tight end for the future. Don't get me wrong. I still think he can be. I'm not giving up on his career.
Yeah.
But it just hasn't been there. And I think if anyone is iffy in any position, it's Dalton Kincaid. I've got no issue with you taking him.
Yeah, it's why he's 39% started, I guess, at this stage, and I haven't seen if it's fluctuated or not, but that was the number. So,
yeah,
that'll do. With a wide receiver and a super flex to go, young Josh, Tay and I have both taken our super flexes and both taken a wide receiver, so there is no pressure to take your starting wide receiver now, unless you're going to double bag it.
So I'm going with CJ Stroud for the super flex. He's only started in 36% of leagues.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just kind of he's in second gear. He really hasn't been playing that well. Defense has been getting home kind of like what's happening against his matchup at KC. I have a feeling deep in my plums that the Texans punch fucking Kansas in the face this week.
And please be Nico.
I don't know why, but I just think this is. I think I'm a Stroud boy this week.
Wow.
So I'm rocking with CJ.
I like the call too. I had him on my list, but I just wasn't sure what it'd take to go in because, again, I don't hate the Kansas defense. I just potentially hate their offense.
I've just got a feeling that I think Texans are. I think they're getting the dub this week, and I think it'll be Stroud finally does something that. I mean, he hasn't done anything for a while. I've been playing geriatric Rodgers in front of Stroud in Dynasty for a while now, so I think it's the week.
Goodness me, can you believe it? And that finishes the fourth round. As we come into the final round, Taylor needs a tight end, I need a running back, and Joshy, you need your wide receiver. We're going to throw it to Tay to kick it off. Drop it up.
You know, I sort of gone back and forth. There's a couple of guys that have good matchups, but I'm going to go and take Frymuth against the Ravens, 22nd against tight end. Had a good game last week, obviously, but yeah, this Ravens team seems to get beaten just in the passing game in general. So you can't run on them, but you can pass on them. So I just think that's what they're going to have to do.
I disagree. I looked at that matchup too and just went, okay, so I don't love running against Baltimore, but you know what I do like? I do like passing against Baltimore, and who catches the passes? Well, you know, there's of the players in that running backfield, I'm just going to go with the Ian and lean into Jalen Warren for the same reasons. It's just you're not going to run up the middle, but there's room in the fringes. There's room across the behind the linebackers. All this is space that are either taken by your tight end or your running back. I lent into Kincaid, so I knew I wasn't going to be going there for and looking at Muth this week after he was fine for me last week and starts the week, scored 11. So I'm just going to do the same thing, same matchup for the same reasons and take Jalen Warren, mate.
I don't reckon Pickens is going to play again either. So I just think they just up a lot more passing work for everyone else.
100%. Jalen Warren, 29% starter, which might actually even be the high watermark on the year for him too. But he's been a staple of this segment. And what it means is, with the final pick,
Yes,
a wide receiver for Josh Vigors. What are you doing here, mate? How do you wrap this up? This start of the week winning team.
Weed and boys, I'm going with Brandon Cooks, starting at 5%. I think he's going to be in a positive game script against the Bucks. And like Tay said on the Friday show, it looks like they're just going to throw the piss out of the ball now and try and get all the incentives up for the wide receivers. So I'm going to rock with Cooks.
holla, 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 we the boys.
Going to BBC, the big Brandon Cooks.
That's me. He's been pretty quiet since returning, so I don't know. And he's one of them players, I feel like when I watch him, you just go, wow, Brandon Cooks is having a fucking great game. It happens every blue moon, but yeah.
I'm rocking. He had a touchdown 2 weeks ago in his return against the Commanders, so, he's out there.
We're a pro Brandon Cooks podcast here, so we both definitely had our shares of it in the past.
Yeah.
And not just in the past, hey, I still hanging on to some Brandon Cooks out there, mate, as you know. I can't let go. Oh, well. Okay, I'm going to recap these teams. Josh, you got the first pick, and I love this. You've gone straight out and bagged Aaron Rodgers against the Rams, but also further down this list, you've gone and taken Tank Bigsby at the Raiders, just banking on that being a running game that should work, and kind of lining up against Taylor's share in that backfield too. Brandon Cooks against the Buccaneers, Tucker Kraft, and taking the CJ Stroud play, which I love. That's the Saturday game, which will be Sunday our time. And then my side here, I got the second pick. I went and took Jared Goff against the Bears, Jalen Warren at the Baltimore Ravens, Darnell Mooney for a bounce back against the Giants, Dalton Kincaid, who's been on a schneid against the New England Patriots, and then Anthony Richo against the gift that keeps on giving Tennessee Titans. Tay's team goes and takes Matt Stafford as his number one quarterback. Travis Etienne head-to-head against Bigsby. There's got to be a water bet in this, guys. We'll come back to that in a sec. Adam Thielen against the Cardinals. Freiermuth against the Ravens. And surprise of the year, Caleb Williams up against the Detroit Lions. Tay and I going head-to-head with quarterbacks. That's our start to the week. Fellas, it's hard to walk past the Bigsby and Etienne thing. How much conviction do we have that one or other has taken the top dog in that backfield?
I have no conviction whatsoever. I just want to.
I love it.
I'm just rocking with Bigsby because Tay took Etienne. That's it. That's all I've got.
I'm contractually obligated to ask just in case there's a water bet there. The great thing about the Week 17 show is that we'll give an update on where our water bets stand, because Week 18 we will recap and start paying off some of those bets. Tay and I have had a few short-term bets through the year, and I've even had some with Kev that I've paid off as well. But we'll bring the water bet updates for that later on. But just trying
I'll definitely put my balls on the line. I'm happy to put something on that Bigsby outscores Etienne.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
What are we doing?
I got a little bit more conviction. I'll even give you a little bit of a line. I'll give you a 3.5 point start.
I'll take that.
Bigsby plus 3.5.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Against Etienne.
Yep.
Versus the Raiders in Vegas.
Yep.
And loser wears how much water? Liter of water?
Yep.
Yeah, done.
I love this.
You're on, Tay.
Bang.
Boxing bell goes in. Waterbed is on. Oh, man, I'm glad I asked.
Good, because I don't even think I needed to give that line, but I thought, you know what, fuck it.
I love it.
Because I could tell, like, he doesn't have the conviction. I don't, like, have massive either, but, like, I think I have more than he does. So I'm like, you know what? If there was a line, I think it would go to Etienne. Like, I think he would be the favourite. I'm like, you know what? I'll just put some sort of point fucking start. We're gamblers at heart, so let's fucking gamble.
Fucking oath we are. I'll take that 3.5 any day of the week. Give me the field goal.
Guys, love a punt. Joshy, look, mate, we've got to the end of the show. We've got to the end of Sunday. We're about to go and kick off week 16 where people are playing semi-finals. You've got a bunch of semi-finals on, mate. Thank you for joining us and all the very fucking best in your semi-finals, mate.
No problem, boys. Thanks for having me on. It was awesome. I'll definitely be back pending how I go. If I go shit, I will disappear quicker than MH-370. But I may be back.
What a reference.
I may be back.
That's what you get late on the Sunday show.
We'll have to launch a Madeline McCann search to find him. Jesus, all right.
You know.
This has been a drop-worthy week, Tay, don't you reckon?
Oh, absolutely, mate. But I just want to thank Josh for coming on, mate. Like, it's been an absolute blast. Like, the chat that you bring into obviously the messenger group's awesome, but I know how much you love NFL fantasy, and it's been awesome to see you grow and add more leagues this year. And not only add more leagues, but it hasn't like diversified you being like good in them. You've actually been amazing, and like you said, 4 out of 4 that you're still in is insane. So thanks for coming on, mate. It's been an awesome chat. Keep talking shit in that group chat because it's been perfect. And
do not stop.
Thanks again for coming on, mate. And like I said, it's just been so good having different voice on every single week. So, mate, thanks for being a part of it.
No worries at all, man. Really glad I came on. Appreciate it. Legends.
Yeah, mate. We've been so looking forward to having you on. And look, I'm going to do the Pay the Bills bit here. You can find everything to do with not just us here at the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show, but our boys over at G'day Gridiron, Manjot, and the stuff that I do with him for Aussie Gridiron today. The Pastry Press NFL. All of this is part of the Aussie Gridiron Network. You find everything we do at linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network, and most of that content too through your podcast provider, no matter which one you're with. Please give us a subscription to make sure you don't miss an episode, but also give us a rating, review us, leave something on there. It actually helps more than you think, and it takes a minute. And it costs nothing. So if you could do that, that'd be great. And maybe even just tell somebody you know that you listen to us. That would also be super helpful. You can find also our merchandise store. Make sure you go and buy your sister a cock slap jersey since he's not on the field, or go and get a lettuce sandwich shirt too, especially since he's fast-tracked on his way to retirement. We're going to have to find a new quarterback to pick on. That's probably going to be Penix. Let's face it, it's probably going to be Penix. So there you go. And you can find everything we do there. It's linktree/Aussie Gridiron Network. We're going to be back for week 17. It is grand final week, and we have got an incredible guest lined up. No foreskinning, but I cannot wait. Tay, it's going to be so good. It is a regular, somebody very, very comfortable with being in this weird trio. Are you looking forward to that, mate?
Absolutely. Someone has been chomping in the bit, waiting for the whole 17 weeks to get in. But yeah, no, it's going to be a great way to sort of cap off this regular season. It's been absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and honestly, he's a bit pissed at the rest of the world team for not putting him in a position where it was a photo finish. But Joshy has put it in a position where he may also be just helping to squash down the Tay. So we'll see what happens, but I cannot wait. We'll catch you all for week 17, guys, and thank you again to Josh. Hooroo, fellas.
Cheers, boys.
Adios, MH-370.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
We're all in agreement. We're all just getting along. It's
Kumbaya.
going to be great until we do starts of the week.
I edged you all year, and now I'm ready to climax the fuck out of you, Tay. So let's go.
Aussie?
And that was 9 opportunities to get Brenton Strange into my team.
Except instead of Calca terrorising people, he's going to be delivering strange love.
NFL?
Ian did something extraordinary last week.
It was great work.
You should never put your Penix in the cousin, ever.
Fantasy.
I've got one more down here from @MATTY
My God, did he fucking lay a gigantic T-Rex fucking egg?
Pending how I go. If I go shit, I will disappear quicker than MH-370.
This is the Aussie NFL Fantasy Show.
Like the Kobe Bryant and Kwame Brown, 83 points in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, yeah.